All right, we're live. Okay, we're here with my cousin HP Morgan. The whole point of this stream, we wanted to get on as Hexicans and future PulseXicans to kind of recap our journey as Hexicans that have joined the community and aren't necessarily OGs, but have been in the crypto game long enough to kind of figure it out. So we're just gonna have an organic conversation about and really catch up. Me and HP haven't really spoken. I know we've both been doing the same thing most likely, but we haven't really spoken about crypto in a while. And I know we're on the same page on everything. So I guess what I wanted to ask you leading up to this Pulse Chain launch is like, what is your game plan? I guess that's the big question because I know we've talked a little bit about it and there's so many different directions. It's hard to set a good game plan, but what are you thinking you're going to do?
I just think after 2 years of waiting, so many people are just going to go nuts that it's just so safe for me to just do nothing. To be honest with you, just do nothing. And it's not like because I don't want to. It's the fact that I probably would hurt myself by doing some things that I shouldn't, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I just can't do that to myself. So
I agree.
Like especially and especially like sacrificing for both, like to me that just meant so much. It's like now I just want to just solidify what I've done and just ride it out, you know.
I know it's like we've waited so long, and as much as it's gonna be tempting to maybe play some games because we were early adopters and maybe our patience is over, but I think sitting on your hands is probably the best play. What do you think though? I like the rags to riches strategy you sent me.
Oh, I know. I mean, that info right there for anyone who watched that was just, there was a lot there, you know?
Yeah, I kind of like his, as much as it's just a FOMO move, I almost like it just to satisfy my FOMO of like going in on day one and like at least buying with some fresh pow, going and buying some more Pulse Chain and buying some Hex.
Now
maybe some PHEX, some PulseX on the day that the bridge opens, bringing some fresh pow because I think you know, although I know the game, I think I need to satisfy my FOMO.
Yeah, so, and I don't disagree with you. And I might set up a separate wallet just freshly just to do that, bridge some money over, play around. But I won't want to touch my Genesis, like my tokens that sat, because that I feel like to me, with the little amount of people that sacrificed, those people are on, those wallets are on like a radar. You know what I mean? In a term of like hackers want to get your stuff, or you know, so like
definitely.
I don't think that interacting with that wallet in particular would be my game. I would set up something else, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I'm assuming you've got all your security treasures set up.
Dude, I bought 2 more treasures, so
same. I would have bought 2 more too.
I'm so like prepared because I don't really think people understand like what's gonna happen when it does.
Me, there's a lot of economic energy behind this. You're starting to hear all the streamers come out of the woodworks that are major streamers starting to come out of the woodworks. So,
and you knew they were in, right?
Yeah. I knew BitBoy was in for a long time. Even crypto banter, honestly, not a surprise, but I think that's a huge person to get on board into the Pulse Chain community as well.
But at least they've been on him and like Ivan, they've been honest about it from the get-go.
Exactly.
You know? But other people, of course, what are they saying now? oh yeah, we've sacrificed a little bit. And it's just like, come on, man. Now you're just trying to get some engagement from our community. Like,
Yeah, I can't tell if it's for engagement or just to join the community. I hope it's to join the community because I want to be open armed about, even if people were naysayers, I do want to be, you know, open to letting, people kind of open their eyes and see. Because I think at some point in everyone's crypto journey, they were they were probably a part of some other coin or community, and so I think what really matters is that you kind of see the whole ecosystem for what it is, and if you do and you come to it, just be authentic. That's what matters.
yeah, so like Richard led me to Hex, um, which led me to the code, which solidified me with the T-share, which the community kept me here. Like it's all about like the community, and then the way that the T-share has just changed significantly since like I got you in. Like you're my first on board, you know.
I mean,
And
I think T share rate. I mean, it was
when I got in, it was 17,499 hex per T-share.
where my mind was right in that teens, somewhere in the teens.
And it's just crazy to think about it now that it's what 40% more now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean that what's crazy too. I forgot like it's crazy how when you make these stakes, you kind of start to forget that you even staked. And so it's literally been like 2 years. I mean, since we've had stakes rolling in the system. And I just think about that rate we locked in and the amount of yield we've accumulated since then. And then we're not even a third or a quarter of the way. We're maybe a tenth of the way through these things, and the amount of yield that we can expect is absolutely absurd.
I mean, I was so thankful that like I didn't. I knew we had to go long, right? Because we aren't people that have a large amount of money.
No, exactly.
So our biggest play was, all right, well, let's take our bonuses that we get from flipping mattresses and let's make some hex stakes,
Yep,
you know?
I agree, dude. I
And
mean,
and that dude, that 18 months of doing that was just it to me was life changing because
yeah,
it's like I've accumulated so much, and it's just like, man, if I would have never had that time in my life, or
it
you
was a
know,
good time. I mean, it's amazing what mattresses can do for you.
oh yeah. I
So
mean, some of the community may or may not know, but we did and found a guy that wanted to buy a mattress and hex, and
yes,
it
sir.
and think of it today, he bought it at 20 cents on the
Killer,
dollar, you
killer
know,
deal.
killer
Killer.
deal. For $1,000 he paid 5,000 hex roughly, in that area, which
Yeah,
would be today how money how much, like a ton.
yeah. And what's crazy, what's even better about all that is me and David are still friends.
That's
Really good.
awesome, man.
Yep. I mean, I probably see him almost weekly, just because he's really ramped up for Pulse Chain, just like everyone else, and he's looking for technical guidance, and I'm just trying to keep him secure, keep him rolling. But
That's awesome,
he's
man.
a good guy. I want to get him on stream sometime because he brings a very unique perspective to the ecosystem that I think people would like to hear. Kind of more in that waters above
Oh
type
yeah, yeah, yeah.
type of
Very astrology based, or
yeah,
very
make
yeah.
pulls connections. Very
Hmm.
cool. And one thing I like about David, and not to segue on something different, but one thing he's helped me open my eyes to is how one thing that I didn't realize I liked about Richard Hart and the whole ecosystem is how he's really crypto in general. We're rethinking value outside of terms of dollars.
Right.
And the more you determine your value in dollars, the more you realize it's it's a horrible measure because
Yeah.
it's a horrible thing to even measure your worth against. And so we all do it. We're raised in a society to do it. But I think the more we can start measuring our value, not just in terms of crypto, but in who we are as people, the things we achieve, the difference we make to the people around us, that's true value. And I think that's what attracts me more and more to the ecosystem, is because that's the message that has kind of been preached before we even came across Richard. And he was already doing free self help. He was producing free video, giving people advice on how to be better people, how to make better apologies, And then he kind of put the cherry on top when we discovered him by creating financial wealth so people can go and experience the things he has, which is really cool.
Yeah. I mean, it just couldn't have happened at a better time. It's like we found Richard, we found Hex, then we found both sacrifices. And
Yep.
it's just like here we are 2 years later, still convicted, still having that conviction of doing like this is exactly like this is what I envisioned it to be.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the amount of knowledge attained in 2 years is ridiculous too. I mean, looking back, I feel like we knew nothing, and now we know. I feel like I know how to be financially free at this point.
Yeah. Do you remember we were yield farming those tokens before like it was a thing? And then
Yeah,
like they were like, "Oh, here's gonna get airdropped all these tokens so you guys can go and do all this." There was no yield farming at whatsoever. And
so
it's just like then you get something like PulseX and it's just like, "Oh my gosh, that was exactly what we were doing." Like
yeah,
literally a year before it came out,
I know. It's like, but here it is, like,
but here it actually is,
yeah, a real finished ecosystem with a community project that has a strong founder, a voice. I mean, I'm so excited for the not even just to see like price. I'm just excited to see the whole thing function. It's gonna be
Yeah,
cool.
for it to become like like it's an ecosystem, right? It's
Exactly.
just it one does this to do this to help it do this. It's kind of like this like wheel that's about to get started and we're about to see it get created from this small little thing to this gigantic
God,
steamroller that nobody's going to be able to stop.
I know.
Yeah,
Look.
like if you go look right now at the on the ether scan on the testnet, the
Yeah,
amount of transactions for today compared to the amount of ETH transactions, it's like at least double, I believe. Of like we've already done over 2 million transactions in a day.
it's ridiculous. What? I mean, I'm not a tech guy, but it just blows my mind how so far in testnet. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. 268 million transactions. It amazes me that in this short. It amazes me that PULSECHAIN can do that many transactions, yet ETH is bottlenecking and
Hmm.
stuff like that. And to me, it's just like it's the solution everyone needs when you look at the amount of transactions. I mean, we're looking at a network that won't get congested for a decade or longer. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. I
So
mean, I went into this morning when I saw the hex price crashing and I'm like, oh, exciting times. I'm going to try to get me some a little bit. And then I had some ETH, but
mhm.
man, it to me, I don't want to pay a huge. It's just, and then I would want to, because I would buy it and then stake it to
Mhm.
hope, and then it's just another transaction. And it's just like
It's stupid, man.
it's hard. It's hard,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
got I actually just to diversify a little bit, bought some e-fiat coming to Pulse Chain. Have you heard of that one?
What is it?
Fiat.
E-fiat? Yeah,
Fiat.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I bought some e-fiat and it has I really bought it because it has a staking. I want to
Did
see.
you buy it when it just went on the dip?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
So I was wanting to stake it. That's the main reason I was interested in it. Anything that has staking, I'm interested in because the APY can be really high early. You know,
Right.
some of
Yeah.
these early the APY is high. If I buy it and I go to stake it, freaking $65 to make a stake of a 14-day stake. So I think that's their locking period is 14 days. Don't know everything about it, but $65. So I mean, I'm just gonna hold it and wait till Pulse Chain launches and then stake it at this point. But it's made some of this. What the fees do, I've realized, is it makes some of this yield farming or earning yield not viable for people that don't have large amounts of money.
Yep.
Because sometimes just to end the stake can take 20% of someone's yield that they earned.
Oh
And so,
yeah,
if
hands.
not
Yeah.
more, if not more.
And especially if they happen to end stake when it's just a busy time, like
Yep.
it's. I'm thankful that there's a solution. That's
Me
for
too.
sure.
Yeah.
I still don't think my family like quite gets the implications of like what's going on about it though. Like,
Yeah.
and I could see it. Like I've been talking about the same thing for 2 years
Yeah,
now.
I can see it. He's cuckoo. He's a little cuckoo. I mean, come on, Jordan. It's been 2 years, man. Like, get over it. Like,
I
you're freaking
mean,
crazy.
at least most of them, like my parents, like they bought and staked on the way up, so they staked longer than market cycles, which is good because I told them like, look, but at least they're gonna get copies and everybody's gonna be fine. But it's just
Yeah.
people are so fixated on right here and right now, or
Or
and they're
even
like,
year or the next 2 years. Like, people are so focused on.
I
Yeah.
I'm focused in on flawlessness, like uptime, and I'm focused in on like, is it gonna be what it's telling me it's gonna be? Is
Mm,
it gonna do the things that it says it's gonna do? So am I gonna see 10 to 11 to 12 10-second blocks? Okay. Am
yeah.
I gonna see, you know, um 32 million validator rotations? Like, well, we see those things, and we
Mm,
see it on the test net working flawlessly, you
yep.
know. So
I
I
think
just think,
I think it will work flawlessly.
yeah, and I could go for 100 test nets if that means that it's gonna not be hacked and it's gonna never be down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you talk to people in the Solana world, and it's just like, bro, your network's down all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care what your coin does. To me, it's about, okay, so I guarantee if that coin starts to pump again, I guarantee if you want to exit, the network will be down.
Yep.
You know?
It's crazy how convenient those things crash. How conveniently timed those crashes are. Sometimes you'll have a pump and then you'll have a crash on a network, or even on these centralized exchanges, you'll have where the website won't load or it won't log in, or you'll go to withdraw and it'll say error. So it's it's best to get away from those things.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just like, I always knew security was a necessity, but it wasn't until like I was like what my private keys actually were, and I was like, oh man, like
Mm-hmm.
this is something like that you don't just misplace. This
I'd
is
shout
something.
out K for K right now on getting my security up to
Yeah.
par. So appreciate that.
Yeah, all these, I mean, everybody in this community has their great in their fields, right? Like each
Mhm.
each field you go looking, a Hexican's going to be doing it and doing it well.
Definitely. Which
You
I
know,
was going to ask you. This is a good time to ask you. Who do you pay attention to most while you're watching? Because I feel like I've got to, I kind of feel like I rotate between people, but I've got to, like, you can only consume so much. I've probably watched at least 90% of the Hexicans that stream regularly at some point, but probably got four or five I watch like daily or weekly at this point. Do you have a select you go to?
well, I don't really watch much TV, so I can kind of say I tend to try to find at least all the streams, or at least a lot of the streams if I'm up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I really try to find just like, I don't know. I like Johnny Chaos just at
Yeah.
his Twitch streams because he'll do on Twitch,
Oh,
and
they're on Twitch? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, and so, but he's pretty realistic, and he always has some really good valid points. So, but I'm tend to don't put my mind on emotions. Like I don't. I know what I'm doing, and I'm like, I can't get fixated on watching people and these TA and all this stuff. To me, it doesn't change my game. Like I know it's either going up or down, and I know I can either buy or stake. Depends on. So because I'm long term, like I'm my average is over 10 years. Like it's up there. It's in
Yeah.
the teens. Okay. So, but I love that because it to me doesn't, it makes me be able to try to live my life a little bit more outside of watching screens all day.
For
But
sure.
now when Pulse Chain launches, your boy's going to be watching screens all day. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I think I think there's a first to the party um, benefit in some of these yield bearing aspects that are coming to Pulse Chain. So I think that's something to be on top of too.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to mess around, I would I would pair my P hex with my E hex
Yeah,
just to generate the fees off the people trading those.
yeah, and honestly, it would help.
And I wouldn't care with the impermanent loss one way or the other. Just depends on how much I was putting in there. But that would be to me like a way, because in my mind, regardless of all this, I still think Hex is with the T-shares the OG game.
Yeah,
Like like
absolutely. I agree.
so
That's what
like
people are here for. T-shares. Ultimately,
yeah, ultimately.
yeah. Pulse Chain was built for Hex, and I think that is something to say to the power of the T-share in the community. I think they're loyal to the Hex system. I really do. It's powerful. It's proven at this point too. Like,
Yeah, and as long as I can try to preserve that thing, man, it's only
mm,
gonna for me be more beneficial,
yep,
you know?
I agree. I try to paint that picture for all my friends and family. The compounding effect, especially when you start getting out to years. If you've been staked. I mean, to me, 7 to 15 years, you really start feeling the effects of this compound.
I mean, yeah, man, the interest alone, dude, it's to me it's getting astronomical, and I'm a pleb.
Hmm. And then
Like,
I try to explain cycles on top of that. So it's like here's compounding, but then you got to realize like historically, and as long as we follow the same trend we've been on, you're going to go through 2, 3, 4 cycles before some of these stakes end, and you've been
mhm.
compounding on top of that. So it's just like, holy crap! Do you once if you know math, do the math. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like, and so I was kind of glad because, man, these past 2 years I've accumulated so much interest compared to just if I would have held just yield.
could you imagine just having a coin in your wallet right now and waiting on price to go up during this bear market? You're just
Uh,
sitting there, price go up, nothing, and you're not even earning yield. during all that.
Yeah, I mean,
Really depressing.
yeah, remember when before I got into Hex, I was in XRP, bro, and rode that thing up to almost the $2 range,
I
and
know.
I didn't do a thing.
I
And
wish
my,
we knew. I wish we knew. I
and,
wish
and
I
I,
knew.
yeah, if I could have done that, at least locked in and got some yield while I was in it, like, it would have made me feel better.
I know, man. I mean, I kind of did the same thing with. I mean, I started in Bitcoin. Remember?
Yeah.
So I mean, I bought some Bitcoin before it made its run up to 60,000 in the $10,000-$12,000 range, and saw, you know, for someone new into investing, good returns.
Yeah.
Did not sell the top like Richard said, but I did sell near the top thanks to him. I will say that.
Well, I mean, I did. I didn't sell. I sold some my well all my XRP on the way down for Hex, but I also so that helped me DCA kind of in on the way of Hex going down too. But like, man, my interest to me right now is to where a point where I'm on my bottom, to where every day, even if the price goes down more, it's like my interest still holds it up in my back. Yeah, you know.
Really didn't go down much at all.
No, it's like
Value-wise.
it's so cool because then when the price does exponentially grow, then you're like, oh damn,
Yep.
you know, you're like, oh damn.
What's insane, dude? I mean, all this we're talking about is very exciting stuff, but we're about to get a copy of all those T-shares.
I
And
know that's to me where it's still mind blowing. Like, not only are we getting both coins, but we're also getting our T-shares. Like,
ridiculous, dude. Like,
and we're locked in at the rate we got locked in.
telling you,
Oh my god!
I'm telling you,
Because
it's
dude, before I think I probably have at least maybe 27, 28 of those stakes like that have been in really good ranges of rates, and I'm like, go long, go long,
yeah,
go long.
absolutely. I feel like
Because to me that money was already gone. Like, I
Mhm.
didn't need it, and it's like I need to just diamond hand this thing. Like,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when we first started staking, I think we went long on everything, which is, I mean, I think that's one of the best things we did right was because I mean, there was times when I was accumulating hex. I mean, at prices above to where we are now, and you could sense that we were at inflated prices, but at the same time, when you understood the T-share rate, you
mm-hmm.
could justify making these purchases as long as you went long. You
Yeah,
provoke rate, you go long, and also at that time, we had the murmurs of PulseChain. I mean, how many times have we thought PulseChain was going to launch? You know what I mean? So at that point, you're just thinking stack some hex, go long, just because you're not getting as much hex as you could have when we first got into hex.
yeah. And like, if I'm buying and staking Hex now, I'm not buying and staking unless I have over 100K of Hex, because I don't want to have to pay that stupid fee just for a
Yeah,
small bag. You know what I'm saying?
that's what I started have to tell all. I probably
So
have.
I mean, I don't mind sitting on liquid because knowing I have some T shares,
Yeah,
but I'm knowing in my head I want to stake because I want to get a locked in T share today, not tomorrow.
yeah,
So
but
then it just bites in on me,
yeah,
you
you
know.
make little baby stakes on ETH no more.
No, that's those days are, because you don't want to, right? Say you make them and you eat 30% of your bag is just on those fees. Think about what you're gonna do on the return end if that was just in a 7 or 10 year stake. Like, yeah, you're gonna have some interest there, but boy, those 7 years of gas is gonna eat you up on the back end.
And even if you make a shit ton of money and you can pay it, it's no big deal, whatever. Like, you still don't want to freaking give that money away just to freaking end something. you
Right.
know. But I think the other day, I think it was Crypto Cabana, didn't realize when he was making stakes, he did 3 back to back to back ending, all within like a week or two. Each one was $1,500 to end. So I mean, you're talking freaking
$4,500.
$100 just to get your stakes ended. That's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stupid. But honestly, with that in mind, that's why I've been buying. And again, you're taking a little bit more risk, not going native stakes. But that's why I stacked on some of those perpetuals that the Maxi ecosystem created. Just because it's like I want T shares, and with Maxi and Desi, you got the max out T share rate on those two, or they got the max. Yeah, they got the max T share, bigger pays better bonus on both those pools, and those got old T share rates. So my thinking was get T shares but avoid gas fees, and get old T share rates. Because those are almost a year old, if not longer now.
Yeah. I mean, if you do the math, they're like 30-40% discount right now. The only thing that's just not intriguing is one, paying the fee of gas, but two, if you were going to do that, you got to get rid of HEX because their pool's usually just a HEX Deci or HEX. Like, you know what I mean? Those perpetuals are in a pool.
Liquidity.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
if you went to go swap them, you would, if you had some ETH and you wanted to swap for Deci, it's not like the liquidity wouldn't be there. So
Yeah,
you
you'd have
have to
to.
have HEX, and then it's just, to me, like all these other coins rely on HEX. So then at the end of the day, if it was to me just hold on to liquid HEX versus to buy Deci, I might still hold on to my liquid HEX because all these other ecosystems revolve on HEX.
Yeah, and that's also why you can say, like, definitely see that side. But that's also like why they're going to be successful, most likely, is because
Right.
they're bootstrapped to the success.
That's why, like, people don't realize it's like HEX was like will be the bootstrap of the ecosystem of PulseChain. Like like
It all starts there. Everything is a derivative essentially of Hex.
So it's like if Hart's law comes to effect where everything's bonded, then it's going to be insane for our ecosystem, And then it probably for anybody else like a Sheeb or a Chainlink or any of these ERC20s that are having problems buying $100, $200 and getting destroyed by gas fees. Those communities I think are going to love PulseChain because traders do what traders do when they trade, right? And then people get cheap fees and then they just want to go insane. They want to trade.
That's what I mean. It's just it's humans. We're degenerates. We're degenerate gamblers.
And think about it like this: it's a network now. So now you're gonna have platforms where you can leverage trade and all these other things, And then it's just like, wow, lots of different options to get wrecked. But
yeah, there are a lot of options to get wrecked out there.
So like, if people start telling you, "Oh, give us one of your tokens to get 2 back," that sounds to me a little fishy and probably scammy. So don't do that.
Yep, for sure. Yeah,
It's gonna be the wild, wild west, man. I'm telling you, bro.
It's gonna be nuts.
There's gonna be rugs. There's gonna be everything.
There's gonna be so many like days where I think some random coin will be the narrative of the day. You know what I mean? Like it'll pump hard as shit. Kind of like what you're saying with meme coins.
Well, yeah, they'll enter the decks day one. They'll have someone will put in some liquidity, and all of a sudden the coin will start rolling in price, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody's gonna FOMO in on because it's like a new shiny object on this thing.
Mm-hmm. There's a group of people that get left with a big bag of nothing.
Yeah. But I mean, bro, like I've been thankful that I found the path that I did because a lot of people in this world don't make it out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they don't make it out.
They don't get out of the rat race.
No, they actually further themselves into debt. You know.
Yep. And I'm finding that's the most powerful narrative that I can give people that resonates with them to onboard into these projects now. It's hard to onboard people to crypto because it's so unknown, but the people that are onboarding around me are doing it because they realize that this system is literally just a freaking pit. It's just a pit that keeps on sucking you into the rat race. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, the further you keep on going, the deeper you get into it. And for what? For what at the end of it all? You know?
Yeah.
All your time gone, a worn out body, you know, a limited supply of cash, and a very mediocre life, you know?
Yeah, I mean, one of Richard's videos really resonated when he was like, two people get rich in crypto and it's founders and holders. And I'm like, man, well, I'll never be a founder,
Oh,
but boy, I can definitely be a holder, you know?
absolutely. I can do that.
I can do that. And I could do that really well.
Yep. Yep.
Like
Working in the mattress business
90% down, give it to me more.
is that's one thing I love. I know we both did it. We didn't just join the ecosystem. We got smarter. We we were investing during the dips. I mean,
Oh,
we were,
yeah.
we were accumulating T-shirts when a lot of people were FUDing Hex. Because I mean, not once did I ever FUD Hex in my mind, despite reading FUD. I was just
Right.
like, I said, this is the best time to buy, is when everyone else is FUDing Hex. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then I just also view it like this. Look, when we got in, it already did a big pump and then it even blew off the top. Like, unfortunately, we just caught it at a time where we caught this, like, you know,
Bull run.
but yeah. And to me, it was fine. I'm glad I didn't get caught up at the tip top. And that's where my first entry was, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but like it it dropped my ego a little bit, put me in check, and then it really got me focused in on, all right, well, let's lower my entry point, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from being here to I want to be less than 10 cents, and then I want to be less than 7 cents, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get your yield from your stakes, and that makes it even lower, and you're
Yep.
just like, man, this is now we're in some gravy train here, you
Absolutely.
know. And then so now making for the next bull run, it only is going to exponentially grow us, you know.
Absolutely. You couple that solid sticking to the plan in the Hex ecosystem, and you couple that with what we're about to do with PulseChain, like I think we're on track for hitting our goals.
Yeah, and it's going to be wild, man. Like, we got your dad in it, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so crazy how everything's just like
It
come
is.
together, man.
Yep. I actually just got my mom and little brother in as well. Just like honestly, like within the last month. So I mean, great entry points when you think about it.
Dude, yes. Like, even okay, so they're new to the ecosystem. Even them staking longer than say like 7 years, they're still gonna get a great probably 20 something percent APY,
I
you know.
got I got them staked out. I got one of them for a 7 year stake, and then I've got some allocations that we're actually going to move into PulseChain and PulseX because whenever that launches, just because I mean you got to get into these new projects, especially when you don't have as much capital as some of these people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna do what Ethereum did when everybody, sold it, but to me, it's like, dude, we've been waiting 2 years for this. I know there's a lot of people coming in, But boy, what about people that were in the bull run? They saw not only Pulse Chain sacrifice, but they saw another one. Did they over leverage themselves? Did they go out, take loans? Did they do things to get them to where, regardless of what happens, they gotta just dip out because they got bills to pay? Like, there's a lot of scenarios to me, Art, because, like I said, it was back to back. So the first one, if they didn't get it, and then because how many more people or wallets sacked for the second one? A lot more.
I mean,
you know?
I got way more people to sacrifice for the second one, personally.
And so, like, if it, so to me, it's like, man, I really hope that it does give a dip because I do have some dry powder. I want to buy some just to have some, outside of my Genesis tokens, like,
Absolutely. Do you see the classic, launch chart that you typically see? Do you see a pump and dump off the bat, or I mean, everyone might say this time's different, but it seems like nonetheless you're gonna get a dump.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at HEX dumps and is pretty volatile. I would assume these two are going to be just the same. Like, volatility is a price you pay for the best appreciating assets, and that is what we're going to pay,
Do you think we ever dump below sack rates for people that got the days 1 through, I think, 1 through 10?
I was day 2 both times, dude.
I think 1 through 10 was the same rate, wasn't it?
It was
something like that.
Dude, it was so long ago. I don't even remember.
I think day 1 through 10, you got the same reward, and then after that, it went on that linear.
Holy cow, dude! That's how long ago this was.
Dude, 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. I mean, this is like trying to remember what you did in, college or something. But yeah, I think we get the classic dip. I think
it's warranted in my opinion. Like, if we want to do big things, we need to weaken the people who aren't wanting to do it. Like, they need to be weeded out.
I don't think we go below sack rates, personally, though.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope not. But
the reason I say that is because some of these projects I've watched that are coming to Pulse Chain that had sacrifices for them, their performance never went below their sack rates, and those were just secondary projects. You know what I mean? Without a really strong ethos. So I think, people like me and you obviously are going to hold the line. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I think there's a lot more of us out there than we probably realize.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people who aren't vocal about it too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is our first time coming on video, yet I feel like we could have been doing this for the last 2 years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But here we are, first time making, a little input. So I bet there are thousands of people that could honestly be in that same window that we're in right now,
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's just exciting times are ahead for us, man. And it's like everything was meant for a reason. We crossed paths in our lives at a certain moment, and we literally found what could be financial freedom. Like,
we definitely did, because I feel like no one else but me and you were on the wavelength of thinking we need to go down the crypto rabbit hole in our entire community of people around us.
Well, that's the thing, is we saw our peers, right? And we saw the people around us, and we're like, man, is this what we have to look forward to? Like, do we have anything that's going to get us out from this?
Yeah.
This thing of having to show up to do this, to do that, to pay my, like, it's going to be wild. Like, I have a question for you. So if this becomes as successful as we think it is, what is something that you want to do personally that, since you'll have some time on your hands, that you would do to give back some of your time?
So, I mean, that's always the $1,000,000 question. You know, I've thought about this before, and there's so many different things that I want to do, but I think one of the biggest shortcomings that and I see in my area that could really make a difference is improving recycling. Like in some way or some other, using my thoughts and efforts to improve the recycling and the way people go about consuming products and looking at things as one-time use objects, and trying to create an easier path for people to recycle
Yeah,
products.
not a but we're so fixated on everything's got to be convenient, right, in our lives,
Yep.
and that makes convenient might not be good for you, but people will give up the healthier things because it's more convenient, or they'll give up the better things for them because it's, something else is easier for them to get.
Yep.
It's like the good fruit's higher on the tree, but yet the bad fruit's going to be closer to the bottom, but they're okay with eating the bad fruit because it's closer to the bottom,
Yeah.
and they don't have to work as hard to get to it.
It's like you can go and pour your glass, get you a drink, get you some water, and pour it in a glass and drink it out of a cup, and you did zero waste to the environment. Where you can get a water bottle, pour water in it, take it with you. But so many of us people, and this is just one analogy, but we'd rather just buy a plastic water bottle, and we don't care about the downside effect just
Right.
so we can have a sip of water. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Or the fact that, like, what if that water bottle and the plastic gets really hot? What's the plastic doing to the
Yeah.
water? Like,
What are you doing to yourself at this
what do
point?
you exactly? And like, what if you leave that water in your car? Like, there's so many like things. Like, but you're right with the recycling, because the oceans, man, like especially off the coast here, like if you're trying to catch this fresh fish, and we are always polluting, especially with the masks and all those things that we like, people throw out, and gets into the waterways, and all these fish are eating it, and we're eating the fish. It's just
Yep.
like, we think we're eating cleaner, but we
But
really aren't.
microplastics they're being found in all kinds of stuff at this point.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Like, even if it doesn't make its way to the ocean, it gets in the soil. That's just as likely to pollute the food you raise.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's I know it's a huge problem to tackle. It takes so much, but if I had enough economic energy to where I could at least, you know, make a slight difference into the problem, then it would at least be admirable. you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that
So
would be pretty dope,
it,
though.
it give you to me it's a good purpose to serve.
Yeah, I mean, and then that's the like, and that's funny that you said that, because like when we got into the mattress game, y'all recycle your mattresses. Like,
Yep.
you always take stuff to the dump and get it like so it's like, it's it's something that you're trying to do on your part in a
Try.
larger scale.
Yeah. And so what I've learned from trying it is that it's actually part of the reason recycling isn't common is, it's not profitable for a lot of people or companies in the US to recycle. And so the avenues and like the options for recycling are really slim.
Hmm.
And the materials you can recycle are slim. So it's a huge mess, but it's something that I
And then
think.
I also think that facilities don't appropriately like recycle. They'll say they recycle, but then it all just ends up in the same place anyway.
Yep. So there's this company called Recycled Plastic. They're open source plastic recycling, like initiative, and I think they're probably going about it right. They're actually teaching people how to make, recycling machines, and then how to recycle the plastic themselves and produce it into secondary products for building or,
That's
uh,
cool.
So who knows, man? I want to ask you the same question though, because it's
That's what I've been thinking on for a minute, man. Like, and what I find the most now is if I would have take a group of my friends and asked them how many times some of them have been deployed, they would say probably 3 to 5. And do you want to know how many of them get true help when they get home? Probably near zero.
yeah,
So establishing like this, maybe a foundation or a group home or place where veterans that have these, TBIs, like traumatic brain injuries, or like, need therapeutic things, there's a place where they can go, or have a create this like charter fishing group where it
mm,
charters veterans to go out as a part of like
yeah,
PTSD therapy, you
yeah.
know,
Powered
and
by HEX Fishing Club.
power by Hex Fishing Club, bro. How cool would that be? Like,
So,
that's the kind of stuff that you look at the end of the day and be like, man, those guys' lives have been changed, and then the camaraderie, because like veterans have this, that's why I think it honed me into Hex. Is one, there's a lot of veterans in Hex, but two, it's
oh yeah,
the community has this camaraderie, like, of just being there for each other. Like, I've gone to a few meetups. I just went to the meetup before they went to the Hex
oh yeah.
cruise.
That's right, you did.
Yeah, I'm going to
I
Miami
love it.
next weekend, bro.
It's cool
Yeah.
to see the community get together, and
And
everyone's so nice.
what's wild is like you meet people that aren't just internet like
Yeah,
pictures. You
they're
meet
real.
actual real people, you
Yeah, when
know.
we went to Vegas, that was a good experience, man.
Dude,
Actually,
that was probably one of the funnest times. Like,
that was.
that was like Hex was ripping, remember?
Yeah, it was ripping. It was good.
And
And even like there was still that there was still that lingering pulse chain like shadow over everything. Like I don't know why it just feels like there was a time it felt like it could have launched.
oh, that would have been just insane, dude.
Yeah. It was just like with Richard coming on stream there and everything. It's just like could he talk about this here? Like he
And
gave
they
us
had
an
the
update.
highest the stakes documentary team was
Yeah.
there. Like,
It's like, is this gonna wrap up soon? Like, is Hex just gonna pump its way into a pulse chain launch? And who knows?
yeah, 2 more weeks, bud.
It's been 2 more weeks. Yeah, honestly, like I listen. One of the streamers I listen to, uh, it's a Randy Hilarski. Have you listened to him?
Yeah.
I would listen to him occasionally just because I like his thought. But I mean, keywords estimated 7 days, so 2 more weeks could be real. Estimated.
And like, to me, I did so much research that I tried to go back and look at what like Big Payday looked like, and they announced it. So all these people tried to game it, right? So
Mhm.
even if people are trying to game this 7 days, well, what if it's, yeah, what if it's longer? Like,
It would not surprise me because it's just who Richard is, man. Like,
yeah, and he's trolling every day.
yep,
Like, he's what says, "Oh, I'm gonna get a good night's sleep." One day he
yep.
says, Hey, how's everybody feeling today?"
He's
Like,
100% trolling, dude.
he's trolling everyone.
He's been trolling since really the bear market started. He's just been trolling people with his marketing outreach. Oh snap!
Um,
Where'd the picture go?
and my camera just died. Hold on a second.
Oh, you're good. Oh, I like your little logo when you're not there. Yeah, I actually just pulled up Richard's Twitter to make sure we didn't tweet while we were sitting there. It's sad, bro. It's sad. It's okay though. It's all for the cause. It's been a good journey, though. While we're waiting here, let's go look at prices. All right. So I'm going to pull up a screen and we're going to check out some prices. Let's go over to, let's go to Coin Paprika. All right, top 100. Ooh, Bitcoin, the market is bloody right now. Just taking a beating today. You got HEX below 6 cents, 5.7. Good time.
All right. New battery. Oh yeah, dude, the market's bloody. I mean, I've been like, I've been playing this. Actually, I'll
do you want to see my favorites list? You're about to see what I'm watching. It's good. It's noteworthy. There's some stuff you could judge me on. It's just because I'm watching.
Do you remember I told you how long ago we were gonna get into that party zone thing I drew up? And I'm like, bro, people don't realize it's that May time. It's even Waters was saying it. That's why he's always pretty accurate with his shadow to waters above. Like his.
Bro, I've been buying the full moons. I've been buying.
Yeah, me too. I bought the January one. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, like that shit's way too accurate.
Yeah, I mean, and even if I like it, it's just been crazy.
Yeah.
And then
Killer price.
bro, look at that. I almost wanna do another rolling stake because I got so much yield right now, but I don't want to pay 47 gwei to roll it.
Yeah, killer price on Hedron. Honestly, though, I'm so Icosa as far as that ecosystem goes because the yield is stupid. It's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, and I did a ladder of the NFTs, dude, and
Dude,
so like
same. I'm telling you, we were doing the same thing without even.
And it was just like, bro, like, and I found good times to do them, so it didn't like chew me up on, fees and whatnot. Look at that 12-second blocks. I wish I was a little faster, but who's complaining about 13-second blocks at this point?
Yeah, look at this. What is that? May 6th daily. So that day they did.
That was the day the guys were stress testing the network, and they did like 4 point. How much is that?
4.6.
Yeah, so that was like double or triple what ETH does, like normally, because ETH does like 1.2.
Yeah. So like the gas is 81 beats. Does that mirror? Let's see if that mirrors gwei.
Probably not. I wouldn't.
Just curious. Gwei 49. Okay, not the same. Interesting. So you just going PULSEX, PHEX?
Yep. Like I said, and I have some like Desi that I had bought early, but I'm really, like I said, man, I try not to venture with things that thou shall not touch.
Yeah.
And it's just because I don't want to be the guy that gets wrecked on something that I know I shouldn't have touched when I'm doing perfectly fine right now. Like totally fine.
For sure.
You know?
All right, I'm going to get a screen share. I just want to check what's going on.
Well, prices aren't for gwei isn't as bad as like it has been.
Did it stop sharing?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. It's all going to be fun. Is there going to be are you going to do one-sided PulseX staking. I mean, I remember that being a part of V2. I didn't see it come back. Did you?
I didn't see it come back either.
I wonder if
But
that could be a thing.
I don't know. But I definitely might use some of my PulseX bag, not a lot, but probably some to do some LP just to get me some that incentive token. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it
I
seems
think
like
that I
good.
think that's a smart play to have that incentive token, and it helps me to know that I'm helping solidify the network, right?
Yep. Yep, that's true. Will you stake with a validator, Pulse?
What's that?
Will you do Pulse staking with a validator? Is that was
That was the BSC side, so that's no longer. You won't be able to stake your pulse. You can only validate.
yeah. I was just curious. Some of these features we saw forever ago, I never saw again. So
Yeah, which I mean that would have been a fair thing, but to me now that if I'm trying to maybe when I have some more time on my hands, I have the equipment to run a validator. I mean, I could run it,
yeah,
and I don't think it's a bad play. I just
yeah,
might want to accumulate some more pulse before I, don't like
yeah.
I'm still would rather accumulate before I validate.
Yeah, I think it's just a whole nother thing to distract you from the mission if you're not like
Well, and
all
then I'm not always at home. I'm not. What if my network goes down? Then I'm
it takes
slashing and I'm gonna get charged. Like
I think
that.
it takes a little bit of knowledge on writing commands too. Like from what I've heard, I don't know much about it, but it took a little. It sounded like it took a little bit of coding. No, not deep, but it sounded like you got to know how to write commands.
Yeah, and that's something I would love to get better or knowledgeable at. Like I can read a blocks explorer real pretty good. Like I can see like where this came from and see all the different things and but to actually go in and see the sequences of the commands, nah, bro.
Yeah, that's beyond me too. It's and there's only so much, so much you can do.
Like shout out to the creator Maxi because he goes and does those live streams while he's coding, and it's
That's
kind of
cool.
cool to watch just to
Yeah,
see, and then for him to test it and then see the
yeah,
trial and error. Like respect someone who literally allows them to show them
yeah.
coding.
That was really cool. I watched him do the launch of the perpetuals on like live. He
Yeah,
just in there and wrote the code and launched it. It was nuts.
yeah. But that's like what's great is like, man, everything we've seen is to make sure Hex thrives. So it's like I can only see Hex being something that's gonna just be a game changer on all networks, man. Like
Hmm. I agree, man. It's gonna. I think it's gonna exceed our expectations.
so when do you think it's gonna be launch date? You think it's gonna be this weekend?
Man, I'm gonna go.
It's tough. He's out here telling people he's getting plenty of sleep. Does he do that because he's getting ready for an all-nighter for a live stream? Who knows? I would be like, I'm there with you, Richard.
I mean, so I I think he's got to do it now. Not saying right now, like today. Okay, so hold on. We got a tweet for Richard. 4 minutes ago. Like if you think I try my hardest to make the world a better place. Retweet if you have hope for the future. Oh, he's such a troll.
He's so true. Ever since we met him, bro, and you even told me like when I first got you, and he's like, "Who is this asshole?" Like,
Yeah, dude. Literally, the first thing I said seeing that guy was, "Who is this asshole on YouTube?" But honestly, I love him now. Like it only took literally like 5 minutes later to like Richard Hart, but the initial, he's abrasive. The initial impression could definitely hit you the wrong way.
he's a rip the band-aid off kind of guy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. He told me what I needed to hear, and I wasn't I didn't have deaf ears. I definitely listened.
Ain't that the truth?
So, but yeah, we got a tweet, man, 4 minutes ago. I mean, when you ask me now when I think it's going to launch, he's talking about making the world a better place right now.
Well, see, like, here's how my thought process is. You launch it when people are available, which typically would be a weekend.
True.
But Sunday's Mother's Day. So do you go out on a limb and get your users to get away from what you've been telling them to do about being like with your family and doing, you know what I mean? And now you're going to go to your computer? Like, I see it as it's either going to be this weekend, like today, tonight, like
any hour now,
or it's going to be maybe like next weekend, because like do it on a weekday, people are going to be like, fuck going to work. Like it's,
my initial response to your question was going to be Monday, the 15th.
Monday, the 15th. So mid Monday, mid May.
Start of the business week. Like, let's get business started.
Or it could be Sunday. What is the? Oh no, that would be Mother's Day. Never mind, because most markets in crypto start up on Sunday, so it would be like good to start on a Sunday night.
It would,
if you would, because that's when everything's kind of dead.
Yeah, it would be. But I don't know, something about the 15th, the 5/15. I don't know. I'm just going with it. At this point,
I like it, dude. As long as it launches, that's my thing.
At this point, like we can. I don't say it's safe to say, but we can presume it's going to be May.
Yeah, I mean, I would be. Let me just say this: after probably how much flack he got from telling people last time it would be two more, like in mid-May, when he was wrong, and then he was like, "Man, I'm never gonna do that again." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He's like, y'all." He goes, "Y'all told me to my blah blah blah," but that to me would have never made him ever make a 7-day announcement if he wasn't prepared to go within the 7 days.
Exactly. I don't think he's gonna do another haha, not really.
I think that 7-day was a window to tell people, hey guys, I'm serious. And if you want to have your copies ready or you needed to do your due diligence, this is the time to do it,
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when you look at his tweets, it's been the one that tells me that this time's for real is that one where I think it was 2 weeks ago or something. He said, "This is your last warning before PulseChain launch." And so that was like, here, get your attention, watch my tweets, and watch this play out now because it's happening soon.
And then it was kind of silent, and then now he's been retweeting and tweeting all kinds of stuff, and it's like, wow, okay, like I think we're there, man. I really think we're there.
I do too, man. That's why we had to call this stream. That's why we couldn't put it off any further, man. It's just like I'd really, if this all goes as planned, so many people look at things as luck, but when you look at the amount of thought and like pre-planning that we've put into this, the amount of intuition, knowledge, the ability to recognize a situation that we've had here. If we are right about everything right here, it's really important that, we capture the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's a big win for us. It's a big win for everyone around us. It's a big win for the future, the amount of people we may impact in the future from this. It's kind of a good time to reflect on everything that's led up to this point so far.
I mean, we're both from small towns. Like, this right here is what people get known for. They're gonna be like, oh, that's gonna be the crypto king of Tennessee over there.
Absolutely. I mean, if I could be known as the guy that is making a change because I did well in crypto, I would be happy to be that guy because people would look at you as that the way they not the same. I don't want to be Richard Hart, but you want to be that shining city on the hill. You want to be that beacon of hope in people's life. You want to be the light that people
Yeah.
can depend on. And the more you have to work with, the more you can give
It
back.
took a little bit though. Like you may have experienced this too. Like before, when you bought, when you staked, then how convinced it was a time period before you felt comfortable bringing others in, thinking
Yeah,
after knowing all the other FUD, knowing that they're gonna go and Google Richard Hart, they're gonna
yeah,
go do these things that what the results they're gonna already see, you
yeah.
know? Was there a time that you were like, oh man, like it only took me 3 months before I was just like, all right, I'm getting everyone in.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
To be vocal about it, man, it's hard to say. Probably about 4 weeks to
Yeah.
start being vocal about it because I don't know the math. The T-shirt thing just instantly clicked within the first day or two of researching Hex and that that part of it. But when I started watching the streamers with their convictions, and then when I started watching people talk about how the code was audited and 3 times, 3 separate companies, and how we're now at I think a year and a half in at that time, and it had that history. And then when you can go look on chain and see how much actual money is locked up in the contract, and there's no way to unlock it unless you want to pay all the other stakers a penalty,
Right.
you realize that there's really no way this can crash or be fraudulent from a monetary standpoint, because literally the math and the transparency right here is telling you like this can't go anywhere. It can dip, it doesn't mean the price can't go up and down. It just means that it really can't go to zero without you getting a shit ton of yield in the process.
Yeah, and that was probably to me the hardest part of talking to people was like, look, all coins can go up and down, and all coins you can go and buy and sell, but this particular one, you can do all of that, but you can also stake it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, a feature of the staking kind of makes you locked, but then you get a little bit of this every day. And you
Mm-hmm.
get a little bit of this every day,
Yeah.
And then it's just like, wow, I can really see this as something that's useful. And then I see how the whales use it, Then I see these rolling 30-day stakes where people are having like
Million.
100K, $1 million, and they're just rolling it and getting 9% to 10%
Not
yield.
working anymore.
And they can't do that anymore,
Yeah.
And
Like,
it's like the
well,
system's gonna. I mean, they can get it, but it won't be as high.
it's diminishing is what's happening.
The share, but the share rate's running away from everyone.
Exactly. You only do that for so long.
Like if that doesn't creep up the share rate as much as those old stakes do, but still, like it's every day that damn thing's either staying at where it's at or moving up. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. What's crazy too is that payout's going up along with that.
Yeah, I mean that's exciting, man. Like it's
That's compounding in itself. It's slower than price go up times however much yield you earn, but it's still compounding in the fact that like the amount of yield you're accumulating over time is getting larger by the days that go by.
yeah.
So it's not quite as crazy, but it is still. in another way, like your yield is basically if you're getting paid out your hex per T share, you hold, and you're used to getting 6 per T share, and then 5 years from now you're getting 12. Well, now the amount of yield you're earning is double every day that goes by.
Yep.
So,
and then whatever the price is when it goes to that 12, all the ones that you previously got at 6 are priced at the 12. You know what I mean? Like it's the compounded on the price too. It's so crazy.
doubly compounded.
You know, so we're talking about doublies.
We'll be drinking bubbly when we get those doublies.
Dude, I'm telling you what, buddy. Like I did the bubblies when Hex did that 10,000X. I was popping bubblies.
I was almost popping bubblies just at the thought of PULSECHAIN launching last night.
Yeah, I might actually go get some just to keep on spare, and just because it's gonna be an emotional day, man. Like I was thinking about it too. I was like, man, so much time, tears, blood, sweat of flipping springs and doing stuff to try to get money just to for the freedom to speak and for the freedom to move, you know? And it was like, dude, and then 2 years in the making with nothing. And you're like, I knew I did the right thing, but it's just like, cause I took my emotions out of it, man. Like in this game, it's you either have your emotions tied to your bags and you're going to be a wrecked pleb.
Yep.
All right. Like if you pull your emotions away from everything, I do what everyone else doesn't do. When everyone's freaking selling, I'm buying. When everyone's buying, I'm holding. Like just hanging in there, man.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So, but that's just me. I've morphed my way up, but I'm still always trying to catch the whales' little pieces as it falls out of their mouth when they sell their bags on my head. I'm cool with that. Like,
do it. Yeah.
You know, go for it.
I'm here with powder waiting.
Yeah. So if anybody's like wondering why the price is so volatile right now, it's because also liquidity is getting pulled. So people are wanting their copies.
Oh, yeah.
So it's getting crazy because lower price moves a lot easier.
Yeah. Oh, liquidity pulls is something that I'm glad I'm still not an expert on, but getting more knowledgeable on it, you can start to see.
Well, I did on V3 one-sided liquidity, and that is to me where I was having some fun.
Yeah.
Because it was almost like I could set my range bounds and get fees while I was wanting the price. And if it went back out, that's okay. But if it went back in, I'm still collecting the fees. But you can pull out, like, so say you have $500 of USDC, right? And you go into that liquidity pool, you could just set your price lower than what it is, and you can get rid of your USDC in a bound range.
It's like a limit order.
Yeah, it's almost like a limit order within the LP pool. And as long as but see, with the limit order, it depending on the site, it'll do it for you. Here you would have to pull out that LP within your range.
Exactly. You got to be paying attention.
You got to be paying attention, you know. So in a volatile asset like HEX, if it was more stable, we'd see a better time to, you know, make your move.
Your range extremely tight, and actually it would exit you automatically,
one way or the other.
Yeah. Then you would just need to make sure you log on when it's on one of those sides, the side you want to be on.
But I mean, like that to me has been a great play because then I can start to see what other wallets are doing within, like, you know, and then I can game theory, like trying to put a position in before a huge wallet sells, you know, just so I could like catch a dagger kind of thing, you know. And so like there's always game theory and everything, right?
Yep. There definitely is. There's gonna be a lot of game theory coming up shortly.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, this is some freaking exciting times, dude.
Very exciting.
And yet again, we're in 2023, which I don't even think the Bulls going to go to 2025. So, like, what do you think? Like, this is where it gets exciting for you and I. Like, being in on the ground floor. This would be like on getting in on ETH on the when ETH just came out.
Yeah.
You know, this
Yeah.
is very equivalent to that timing. But think of it like this: ETH didn't have all of the adoption to it. It was the second crypto out. Most people were Bitcoin maxis at that point in time, so it probably didn't fare too much adoption. So it's gonna be some crazy, exciting times.
Very, very. Also, I just think the pathway in is going to be easier. The barrier to entry is going to be easier than it was to get into ETH.
Yeah, bridges and everything.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Richard just posted 4 minutes ago. Oh boy. When PULSEX.com goes live, please be careful setting your slippage limit when you trade. Slippage limits protect you from sandwich bots. And some bad luck. Oh, sure.
Oh my gosh, shit. All right, hold on. That's ridiculous, man. We're gonna go.
So Gerardo says this is good food for thought. If you were gonna do limits, set your slippage to about below the 0.58% to protect yourself from sandwich attacks.
All right, here we go. Mr. Rico.
13. Mr. Ricardo.
Yep. Ricardo Hardo. Mr. Red Bull.
Oh, man.
Oh, shoot. All right. 4 minutes ago, we got over 1,300 likes, 480 retweets.
Dude, he's an animal.
Is it happening?
Dude, I don't know, man. The anticipation is just lingering, though. He just has it in the air.
You know what's hilarious is me and you don't have any intentions of doing anything, yet we're sitting here like...
Oh, like a freaking, like... I got my thumb up my butt because I'm just like honed in on my screen. Every tweet that I get on my phone is a notification from Richard Hart. I'm over here like, no, he's trolling me. That's what I think in my head. He's trolling me specifically because he knows that I'm looking at it.
Yep, he knows. He knows what you're up to.
Oh, look at it. He follows you too,
Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yep, pretty legit. When you sell the first mattress for HEX, he appreciates it.
Yeah, that was a good little video, man. That was fun, dude. That was crazy though. Remember, Brooks? Like, you put the ad out. I'll never forget this. You put the ad out for Black Friday. Like, we get a hit on the ad. Then I get a call from Max about, was that the time he wanted to interview us? That was after the video.
Yeah, basically, we got the hit. We got someone that wanted to buy with HEX. And then
I got my wife for ABC to get her buddy to film it for ABC.
She liked the story and said they would pick it up.
Yeah, she couldn't. She's conflict of interest, but it was awesome, man. It was, and then David was on it.
Yeah, and David's become a friend. That's what's crazy. He's become a friend, and like honestly, I think our paths crossed for a reason too. Because I mean, he's provided me with some different ways of thinking about things, but also like I know that I've been able to help him a lot with security and give him peace of mind with what he's doing. And it's been a mutually beneficial thing. Just as, I don't know, it's just what happens usually in the community. It play out in real life. Like, everyone's just so helpful.
I would love to hear his story again too. Just because like he was in it more about symbolism, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He got into it more about like the alignment of things and how
Yeah.
Richard Hart was. I don't know. It was crazy. I would love to get him on stream and have
he's
him
got
tell
a,
his.
he's got a really good, like, unique onboard story that he needs to share. But it's not your everyday, like, onboard. Like, it's honestly so, like, it sounds funny, but it's just so, like, older guy way of getting onboarded. Like, he didn't find them through the internet or YouTube. Like, he found them through, like, MP3s, like, podcast. But did your video die?
No, I'm good.
I got you. I lost. Oh, there you are. But
I'm
yeah.
back.
Yeah, have you onboarded anyone since you moved to Florida?
Yeah, I've got about maybe 3. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's hard in the bear market. People are like, they just see a price and they're like, oh, it was just at 50 cents. Like, they don't understand what it, and that's what I have to tell people. I pull their head and I pull it and I zoom it out. And I'm like, look, you are only fixated here. I need you fixated on all of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's not about you buying in and thinking that it's going to get you rich tomorrow. This is about time in the market, not timing it. You know?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, like, I'm all about my place and my time is only with me delaying my gratification. And I will delay it as long as it takes me to.
Oh, yeah. And, like, I think people just don't want to face the reality sometimes of, like, my question, and I haven't gone down this rabbit hole, but my question for people that don't want to give, even crypto, I'm not going to force, I think you should buy HEX, but I'm not going to immediately force my asset that I like down your throat. I'm going to try to turn you on to crypto in general.
Yeah.
People don't want to face that reality of the question is what if you don't want to invest in crypto, what's your solution? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, that's like why I came up with these hat ideas, because to me, I'm like, what is 2 things I love? Crypto and fishing. They're 2 separate communities. But what if I can make something to where I can start to pull them into my community? Not necessarily buy my bags, but I'm also maybe getting them exposure to PulseChain, PulseX. But that's someone like saying, man, that hat's pretty popping. Like, what is that?
mm-hmm.
All it takes is a conversation. Boom, you got a hex.com, pulsechain.com card. Here you go, my friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, and that's what's cool about this community is, like, everyone's got so many cool things. Like, I'll show you these 2.
There's some sick swag out there.
Like these right here, bro.
Oh, yeah. Look at those. So this is turning into a Richard Hart.
Dude, these bitches are so sick.
Dude, those are nice.
And they say trustless.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
It says trustless.
Oh, that's cool.
And then over here it says immutable.
That's nice.
Bro, it's so dope.
Those are sick. I like the sole on them too.
Yeah. Comfy. But yeah, man, it's like
You wore them yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I wore them down to Miami or Fort Lauderdale when I went down there.
Nice. That's cool.
And then I have another pair. These, I'll show you these. These are on my wall. I got these hanging up. I won't wear these.
Yeah, some shoes you just can't wear. They're better to look at.
I like these, bro.
Oh, yeah, those are badass.
Oh, yeah. The other ones had the PulseChain logo here.
Yeah.
But that's a PulseX. Okay. My green screen's just going through it.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Dude, look, I like the back too. It's got
all 3 of them. It'll have like the HEX, the PulseChain, and then the bottom one says the PulseX.
That's cool.
But like these are just like So dope, man. I'm just gonna put these on my wall.
Yeah, those are. I mean, those will get dirty too. You gotta just keep those to look at. The Hex merch, man. There's so much Hex merch I want to buy. I'm just like trying to wait until I can just buy it all.
Yeah, so
I
I
like the pins.
what is it?
I like the pins.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got the PULSEX, and I think the PULSECHAIN one in Vegas. Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Wait,
The
yeah,
little Bobby, the little pin like that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember this guy.
Oh yeah, I still got that. That thing was cool. I wish I knew. I feel like
So that guy's name's Brian, and he's doing the hats with me.
okay.
I
That's,
teamed up with his crew. We're working on a design out in
yeah,
Vegas.
he-
So he does all of the. If you look at all the hats that all the onboarders are getting out right now, like
yeah.
Hilarski just got one.
The black.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
all of those Brian does, man. Shout out to Brian.
yeah. Those are
Him
good
and
hats.
yeah. So we're trying to get one in for a fishing one. So
You
it's
got it
gonna
coming. Look at you already, man. You're
yeah.
already going.
So, like I said, that's why I wanted to venture out so where I can get eyes onto us from different people. You know, I
Yeah,
can only talk to people so much that are willing to be crypto oriented, but if they're not like acceptable or they may not, it's just how do you merge the two, right? How do you find that commonality? Well, everyone loves hats.
yeah. Everyone's gonna have their little own niche in the community
Mm-hmm.
that they can fill, and I mean, I think it's a cool avenue to go down, especially where you live and what you're
That's the
passionate.
thing. It's like, yeah, it's like where I live. It's like if I see nothing but people wearing these kind of hats here, it just, I don't know. It's a
Yeah,
way of me like showing people potential financial freedom in a cool way.
absolutely. And I mean, if all goes as planned, I mean, what better way to spend your days than fishing?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
if you can get financially free and help others while fishing, sounds like a win-win.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome, man. It's pretty cool. This community, like I said, it really, the T-share got me here and locked me in, but the community like kept me here. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. For sure.
Like it keeps me here all the time. People are so nice. So it's just
Yeah,
everyone's each other's friends here.
yeah, you've definitely made some good connections in the community.
Yeah, it's just cool. Like I'm gonna help Maddie with his 48-hour live stream next weekend in Miami.
Nice. That's cool. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
I'm volunteering my time. Like I don't have to do that, but this is something I want to do because like this he you know how much work he puts in for all those things?
Oh, it's ridiculous. Like
I
just
told him when I was in Vegas that I would help out with something and I'm just wanted to do
absolutely.
something for my community.
You got to. That's awesome. That's cool you're doing that. That's in a couple weeks.
No, it's next weekend.
So we can you
Yeah.
driving down or flying down?
No, it's only an hour and a half drive for me, but
Oh, you're that close?
yeah, dude, I got a hotel there for the weekend. But
I
yeah.
didn't realize you were that close.
Yeah, I'm literally only like 30 minutes north of West Palm Beach. Like
Dude.
I'm down here. So
Yeah,
if I had some more time, like I said, when we talk about going to Destin, that's why I was like, man, we'll link up if I can get enough advance notice. But
absolutely.
we'll talk about that off stream.
Yeah. Are you far away from Destin?
It's a minute. I mean, it's across the
Yeah,
state.
I figured so.
So
Totally.
like if you were up here, I'm moving down over here.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's I don't know.
It's
If
chill.
it's a weekend trip, it's not bad. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna try to get down there later this year.
Good.
Yeah. What else, man? We've covered a lot of good stuff here. Caught up on a lot.
Yeah, man, it's just been a minute. It's been great talking to you. I'm kind of excited where we're all at, you know.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that sacrifice was during a bull, not a bear. I would have been in a worse predicament and
Absolutely.
money preservation if I was to sacrifice now. So
Yep.
I'm very thankful for that. Thank you, Richard.
Yeah, that was honestly, I've mentioned that before to people. That was kind of one of those things that people don't talk about. That Richard actually, that timing of his sacrifice, gave people a lot of max value
Yeah,
for their.
because think about it like this:
Yeah,
they had that value, right? And I still think, and this is how I was thinking about it, is they're still going to have that value when they launch into the bear market because they got exponentially more coins for their sacrifice.
absolutely. They basically
So
grew it stable.
they just did a stable transfer of value to themselves, literally
Mm-hmm.
just 2 years down the road, you know,
Avoided all of the bear market.
and avoided all the bear market.
They're gonna get their coins coming out of it. Like
That is so wild.
he did the trade for you. You
Yeah.
know, in a way, like
Like he took you from being weak lettuce hands
yeah. I mean,
and selling the bull market.
yeah. He basically got you to get into something while you were doing good and saved you from getting caught with a bag. That's where my Bitcoin went, man.
Yeah, it's where all my other before I came into the ecosystem, I was a degen. You know, we were doing the ICX stuff. We were into on the BitTrue side. I was doing leverage trading, dude. I was doing all kinds of stuff, man. But
Yeah.
I didn't know I didn't know what true crypto was like. Where it's like you could do all those things, but is it real? Like that could just be bot trading. There's a lot of things that I don't know behind the
Didn't
scenes.
even know how to like identify if it was legit or not. Just did it.
Yeah, you just did it, you
Yeah.
know. And then like I lost a substantial amount of money one night, doing those
Leverage.
100x trades, and a wick hits me, and just like I don't even get a chance to gulp my water down, and my it's like that South Park episode. It
Yeah.
gone, you
Crazy.
know. And then I was just to me, I think, and I found Richard like a week later, and I'm like, dude, it was for a reason,
Yeah.
and but it changed my whole mindset about it. Like I now I know like I don't have to worry about trying to go out there and buy and trade just to make some cash. You know,
Mhm.
if I wanted to, I could play the market cycles. If I wanted to, I could do short term staking. There's a lot of ways you can make yield. You know,
So many,
but it
man.
but it wasn't until I found Hex where that was trustless.
Yep. True.
Trustless.
And what's crazy is since finding Hex, we've have the community has now built other trustless yield. Like it's like crypto's getting smarter. You know what I mean? Like as
Yeah.
a whole, and that's a product of Richard. Like the things that branch away from Hex are far better projects than you're seeing from the past that were created. So moving forward, it seems like you're getting all of those things that I wouldn't say, you know, you can give Richard a lot of credit for um, some of the tokenomics, the pumpamentals, like those are words that the Hex community kind of coined and Richard created. So those are things you're starting to see going into projects moving forward. You're starting to see immutability being kind of the cornerstone of
Right.
projects. So none of that was really talked about before.
Yeah.
At least not in the crypto I was experiencing, you know.
No, it's always about we just scored this deal with this partnership of this
News driven.
bank, or it was news driven, right?
Yep.
And all of that is just buy the news, buy the rumor, sell the news, and then it's usually founders dumping on our heads, right?
Yep.
Pretty
Founders
much.
and term holders.
Yeah. So it's like the game of just cat and mouse and getting lied to or told promises. And that's another thing, is these empty promises I was getting, you know? It's like, if something was happening, like, okay, let me see it happening. Don't just tell me it's happening. I want to witness it. I want to see it, you
Yeah.
know? I can see all my stakes. I can see my yields. Okay. I
You
can
can
see
see
that.
every stake that ends. You can see every stake that starts. You can see how much is staked. You can see what supply of the coins is staked.
I can go and track wallets and track people's staking behaviors. All of that is on chain.
There's a
And
free.
stuff before I would have never found if I would have never found Hex.
Yep.
Like, I would have never been able to know how to do any of that.
None of it, man. Like, I would have not understood DeFi to the extent I understand DeFi had it not been for Hex. Because
I mean, we're about to live into a world where you can literally have you could basically leverage your crypto assets and start getting money. You know what I mean? Loans on the DeFi network.
Yeah. And like
And
with
literally,
rates and like
yes,
safe thresholds, like as long as you're not an idiot, you can
like
get a decent loan for at a good rate, not these stupid rates that you can get from the government.
exactly. And you're gonna start getting better, smart contract driven loans than you are gonna get backed by the banks or the governments, and people are gonna be like,
Yeah, and it's trustless and it's immutable. Like you don't like.
Now it would be like, if you don't go and start knowing like how to get not liquidated, like, you got to understand that kind of stuff before you dabble. It's not a it's a, but that is the stuff that I wish they taught people in this world, is because that is the stuff that gets you out of the rat race, is to know how to do these and get these kind of deals that are you'll never ever get in legacy ever.
Never. They got your foot on. They got their foot on your neck, man. And legacy, they give you just enough to breathe.
Yeah, here they don't care about your credit score.
Yep, they don't. They care about how much value you bring to the system.
Yeah. And if you're being truthful.
Yep. It's awesome, man. It's a good thing we got here.
Yeah, man. Like I said, this is for being in crypto as young as we are. It's huge. It's a humble moment in my eyes, because we could have been here since 2012 and went to 2 bear markets and not knowing anything, and just crazy times.
Yeah, although we weren't first to the crypto scene, I feel like where we've positioned ourselves in crypto is I think the timing's right. Had we got into the crypto scene much earlier, there would have been no HEX.
Dude, we would have been in. We wouldn't, when the pandemic hit, man. That's when we should have got in, like, heavy.
I mean, that was my first Bitcoin purchase, but I didn't. I was toes touching the water type of person. Like,
if we would have found Hex at that moment in time, Brooks, they're like, gosh, man, like that thing, we would have been.
I don't.
Like, you're talking T-shares and the.
That's why we're getting this next. What's coming? That's why we're gonna get it right.
Well, we got it right, brother. We still were in Hex, man, and we were T-share maxis, where I think we should be, right?
Oh, yeah. The amount of yield we're earning is
so that I think I'm still convinced that we did do it okay.
Yeah. So
it's just, if Ethereum lasts as long as it can last, that's the only problem.
That's the problem, is if that's why I stopped.
So now I've also been thinking I should be. This is no financial advice or anything, but this is my personal. I've been thinking I should be keeping DCNA on ETH when ETH drops on its lows, only to have some of these really good buy values when I do have to pay, down the road, and the fees do get high. At least I'm DCA in my ETH with my HEX HEX.
Yeah.
It may only be like 20% of my balance there, but still it's enough that I know it's going to have to be
Needs to be done.
substantial to be a payout, right?
Needs to be done.
Because think if you go to end your stake, right, and then you don't have enough gas, then you're buying it spot at that price.
Yeah, dude.
Like you could have saved yourself so much more money if you would have just DCA'd it when you DCA'd into HEX.
Exactly.
You
I
know?
agree. I was telling Aaron that at work, and but I was telling him I'm gonna start that after the launch, just because I don't want a bunch of ETH for the fork. You know, I want to maximize my copy. But once I get my copy, I'm gonna do exactly what you said. I think that's very smart to go ahead and buy your gas ETH and just forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, think of it like a small asset that you're going to need down the road, but you need to diamond hand it as well, you know? So when it hits its dips, like it always does, just like it does, you know, everything else, you just buy a little bit of it.
Also, just diversifies your portfolio a little bit.
Like you know, and then what's even going to be better is when PulseChain launches, you're going to get more volume on PulseChain that should assume less volume on ETH, right?
Mhm.
So then it should make at least DCA in your ETH more manageable, because the gas should start to go down a little bit, right?
So
Hopefully so. If all goes in the way of adoption, right?
yeah,
You can't tell someone to go force them to change some RPC settings on their MetaMask.
yeah. What I like, it's noticed it using the test net, but even K4K pointed out today is I like that when you do go to PulseX, it should automatically
Both of them. Yeah.
So that's what I experienced, and that's to me going to be honestly a huge hurdle that people are going to be able to get through easily now. Because putting all that in, you think you're freaking, you feel like a coder. You start feeling like, holy crap, what am I? I'm going to this page, copy, paste this to here, custom network. Like, what am I even doing?
And then they have to add the tokens, right? Then what if the tokens aren't found and they got to go and find the contract address to add in for the, just to see their balance? Then they're going to be like, well, like people are going to think their money ain't even in there.
Yeah, it starts to, I don't know. That's just a nice feature.
Yeah, it'll be good. But I like I said, I might even not touch my. I right now my Trezor is secure, and so I might not even connect my wallet that I got my tokens to until I'm ready to even transact with them. Only because people maybe or may not like that could be a tax implication. So like I don't want to jeopardize myself in that way if I don't have to.
Sure.
Knowing I'm not gonna sell them anyway. You know what I mean?
For sure. That's smart.
So that's why I said if I had a separate wallet to do something is where I would play around with, because and then when it's time down the road and I've secured myself in life and I wanted to get rid of my stuff, then that's the time I can open up my my Trezor.
Yep. It's gonna be tempting not to play the shorthand game, but
yeah, I need some dry powder and play the shorthand game on just how to interact with the network. Everyone's going to want to play, it's the same as testnet, but now you're playing with real value. So
yeah, I think coming out of the gate, who knows strategy wise, but my eyes are going to be focused on probably PulseX and probably PHEX. I want more Pulse, but I think that's where everyone's running from the start.
Yeah, I definitely want some. I think I want some more PHEX for sure, and I'm hoping it gets down into the 2 cents again. Like,
I think
because but to me, like, because even if I get some, and like I said, I choose not to stake it on the Ethereum side, then I will LP those to the ones on the other side, you know, and that's where I'm talking about just keeping at least holding the price, you know.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to most getting PHEX and building a mad staking ladder. Like, because of the fees will be, I mean, you can do a staking ladder for pennies, you know,
Oh
build
yeah.
out, and you don't run this, you know, this fear of being able to end your stakes. So I'm going to build the ladder I've always dreamed of on Ethereum, but I could never do because of gas fees. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
do.
that's part of my plan, and that's something I think we can do. You know, depending on how soon you can get your hands on PHEX. Like, I've got some liquid just because of the fees right now. It's
Yeah,
just,
me too. I've accumulated some, especially when the market dips like it does now. I'm like, I think I got like 13% of my bag is liquid.
yeah. So like all that liquid out of the gate, I mean, to me, before anything happens, price, whatever, if people are freaking ratio trading day one, and that doesn't stop us from going and making staking ladders. That
Mm-mm.
that has nothing to do with price. So day one, we can build our ladders if we want.
Yeah, it was with
So that's
that
probably,
liquid that we already had.
yeah, that's probably my,
Yeah,
is to get all my yield bearing assets
and
earning
you're
yield.
gonna, and then before, and then whatever the share, because it's gonna have its own share rate depending on where the fork lies.
Be whatever the fork was.
And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, if people go ahead and start doing stupid things like emergency in staking on the
You get
on the
all
P
that yield
side, you're gonna start getting all that too. Very smart play.
day one.
Because like, yeah, and if you did it day one, then that would get you definitely guaranteed if people EES that first day to
Yeah,
lock in.
exactly. And that has nothing to do with price. So that, and I'll do that with, like, I did some Texan. I got Texan in my wallet, and they have their staking ladder you can build. I'll do that with all my Texan too. Day one. So day one of PulseChain is just freaking putting yourself in position to earn yield and forget even trying to trade. You know,
Did you do them on a yearly basis, monthly basis? What's your dream?
on staking,
Yeah.
I would. My dream right now on Hex is having large stakes quarterly every year. Like, every quarter, you have a huge stake come out. Years, avoid years. Don't stake years 1 through 2, or
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
3.
I avoid at least
Yeah,
1 through 4 just
yeah.
because what if I caught the tail end of the market cycle?
The
I
people
don't
that, yeah,
I
the
don't want
people
to
that
be
hurt
on.
right, yeah, I
Yeah.
think the people that hurt right now are the ones that staked a year or two and bought at the top.
Yeah, dude, I was lucky, man. My first stake was a 365 stake and a year and a day, and I lucked out and still got 14% yield on my hex, and then the price appreciation of the asset went up like 12%. So it was a
Yeah,
good thing, but boy, if it would have been 2 or 3 months later, I would have been upside down in it.
yeah,
Plus the gas fee for me to end that thing, you know?
yeah,
So it is like one of those, like, that's when it takes the due diligence of going into what's that vision website you were just in?
Hex
Um,
vision.
yeah, and going out there and seeing expiring stakes and seeing where wallets or behaviors at, because this is where it's like you can maximize your own gains by just seeing what other people are doing, you
Yeah,
know?
for real.
Like if someone just ended a huge stake, you know the share rate's gonna jack up. You might want to end your stake before that share rate jacks up because you're about to pay a whole new rate, you know?
For sure. Absolutely.
And that rate would affect for another, so say that was another 15-year stake, that extra 50 hex per T share is gonna compound like crazy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Crazy, man.
That's
Insane.
what I love about this damn system.
It's great. Yep. Quarterly, man. Large stakes quarterly, and I think you could retire properly, or not even retire, just reach that financial freedom of doing the things you want to go do.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm just hoping eventually I can make some yield like within the PulseX ecosystem to where it's like I can make enough yield to where I don't necessarily have to work. Like I can get enough just farming
Yeah.
or incentive token, and you can do those in quarterlies. Like you can what do you call it? You can where you redeem them, like you you know what I'm talking about.
You're talking about
Like if you were staking and you're getting incentive token and you wanted to get your incentive token,
oh yeah,
you
you can harvest it.
harvest it. There it is.
Yeah,
So
you can
say you
harvest
can do quarterly harvests and then restake those,
out.
or take them out, and those could be your way of paying back a loan that you took on the
Yep,
DeFi world. See what
exactly.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many like mind melting things out there
Yeah.
that are now going to be at your fingertips.
Yep. And also, like, even if so, I want to reach all those milestones of, like you said, being able to earn enough yield to where it does pay for your life. But say you looked at your crypto just as a savings account, not even as your spending account. If you were able to be generating yield in your savings account that was way more than you could make working, then you could keep your job if you like it, and everything you make at your job could just be money you go and live life with, man. Like, and you don't even got to touch your crypto. You can just keep generating yield after yield and leave it alone. And then your job is just a whether it's
To pay for your
just
just to pay for your means, right?
yeah. And now you're not having to take your job and put money back from your job because you've got it figured out, man. You finally escaped the financial grip of.
Right. Of what we've been trying to just escape this whole time.
So that's another way to look at it for people that want to keep working. Yeah.
I mean, I think you got to, because in this world of crypto, inflation plays two ways. It plays with you in the world of HEX, but also if you're not DCA, and I feel like you're getting deflated, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's why my mind kind of thinks about that because just
Because
live
you're because
crypto
there's
bag.
literally every day crypto
Yeah.
is being printed and money's being printed and all these things are, so like that's why holding liquid hex in small amounts is kind of like you're not doing yourself any good, because like it's just you're just getting deflated by the
Mhm.
amount that people are dumping or getting printed or whatever it is.
3%.
Yeah.
3%.
So it's like uh, that's where it becomes the holding the liquid versus the T-share, because then I'm like, oh, at least if I held the T-share, that holds its value, and then it exponentially prints me the thing that
Mhm.
prints that is just prints them out.
Oh yeah, and we can pretty much not guarantee, but we pretty much bet on the price being much higher 10 years from now.
Even if it isn't, we're staked so long that it's still going to be a great return
Or
on your investment, right?
once
Because
it's
you,
the same or higher, you did.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite the thing we have stumbled upon, my friend. Quite
Yeah,
the
think of it like this: if you put in money, price didn't change, and you were getting 20% yield back on it, and
yeah.
what, 5 years you've already returned back your yield?
Who wouldn't be happy about that? That's what people do in traditional investing. Put
Yeah,
a stable dollar up for yield, and they get it back in that same dollar, and the price hasn't changed on the dollar. It's actually gone down. They just don't realize it.
Yeah, their value, their spending power is gone down.
Yeah, it's still the same.
And that's why I get so frustrated with seeing my peers going out buying ridiculous things that don't hold value. And then I'm like, dude, you just gave away all the value that you think you've had to a product that is a liability, right?
Yeah.
It is a depreciating. It is not an asset.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not only losing its value from depreciating, but it cost you more money to buy that because of the cost of the dollar going down.
Yeah.
It slapped you with a double whammy.
People are just, I don't know, man. I just think people aren't taught properly, but I also think people are just, they're naive than they choose to be, personally. I think some people choose to be ignorant to the solution, or even to trying to find a solution. I think they just accept this is my life, and I'm going to just be a slave to the dollar,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've had some employees in the past when we were in the bed business that, dude, we try to better their lives, right? And they're so content on keeping things status quo. Like they're content on just whatever they're doing, continuing to do that for however long until they don't do it anymore. And to me, I cannot live with myself that way, bro. I have to always be moving forward, always trying to do something better,
Yeah, and I mean, I really think it's just kind of a personality type too, when it's all done. Like, I don't know. And then I think for some people, like, your personality can't deal with that reality of, is this the rest of my life? Of, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna come home, and I'm gonna repeat all to pay some bills so I can have a roof over my head, eat some food, and then I'm just gonna repeat this until one day I can't do it physically,
right?
And then I'm gonna retire, and then I'm gonna have fixed income and do the same thing, but I'm gonna be bored
On a smaller basis because I'm on a fixed income. And when I thought I was supposed to be retired, I'm not retired.
And I'm bored because I can't spend all the money I thought I would have because everything costs more.
Yeah, man, it's I don't know. I feel like this next little bit's going to be an eye opener. I don't know if the interest rates really feel like they've hit the market in a sense of like, I don't know if we feel like we've hit rock bottom just yet with how much money that got printed. You know what I mean?
Weird, man, this is weird right now. Like, I thought the markets would be bleeding with the rate hikes, but
like was thinking recession looming. I just, I don't know what's going to be the bubble that makes it go in that way. Is it going to be something where we get more bank runs? Is it going to be something where it's going to be government sells all amount Gox crypto? Is it going to be we going to get like a false flag event? There's got to be something that's going to change the momentum to where everyone's going to be running scared.
Yeah. I think there's going to be that tipping point. It's what it will be, I don't know. Right now, my mind immediately jumps to what's happening with the BRICS nations and just them teaming up on their own.
Yeah, because the way I saw it is it first hit the crypto market, right?
Yeah.
And then it's going to trickle into the stocks. Then it's going to trickle into the real estate. Then you're going to start hitting all these sectors in different points, right? But one of these sectors is not going to be able to sustain one of these hits, and that's where we're going to see major collapse.
Yeah, and I mean, if if half the world gets off the dollar as their reserve currency,
dude, that would be 40% of our goods overnight. Overnight.
what happens? I mean, I don't know. I don't think no one's ever witnessed this, but like, what happens?
$20 eggs, $25 eggs. Like you're talking about the
Does that
price
mean
of your goods going up 50% overnight.
does that mean your dollar overnight maybe just theoretically becomes like worth 60 cents per dollar?
Yes, exactly.
So
Theoretically. And
yeah,
that could be a whole reason to make them go bad, right? Is
mhm.
to maybe dangle this CBDC in front of people's faces and
Yeah, that's what my mind went next.
say, "Hey, my friend, your dollar is going down, but if you decide to give us your dollar, we'll give you 1.2
Yeah,
of these digital dollars.
we'll
Oh,
take
you're
your
going to give me 20 cents more on then." But
you'll
they
take
don't know that on that end, they have the ability to change the price of what the valuation of that coin
yeah.
is,
Well,
or the
hold,
ability for you to go and spend it, use it, accept
yeah.
it.
I was gonna say the government will gladly pay you extra to have control over you. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
They will gladly give you money to have control over you. They've proved that with the COVID checks.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Hey,
Test
here's free money. Listen to us now. You know, and
And
everyone did, or
now
not
if
everyone.
I can dangle the carrot and say, "Hey, now you can be able to," it's going to be for safety, security, or convenience. One of these
Yeah,
things they'll say, right?
I mean,
Oh, stop acting with who carries dollar bills anymore? Just use your phone and you'll have your little wallet here and everything's all on your phone. And
mm,
it's just like, where in this world have I ever known something to be secure on a phone?
exactly.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. Your phone's not secure.
No. So, food
It's a
for
problem.
thought, people, don't have your crypto on your phones,
No,
please.
we ran into a few people doing that, and
Like
I
if you're having transactions using your MetaMask on your phone, that is a big, big no-no.
yeah. I mean, it's crypto is so new that this is a common problem. I mean, people think and not even really giving thought to security. That's the better statement. It's not even that they think they're secure; it's that they literally haven't given it thought.
Right.
They think that if they buy their crypto wherever they bought it, however they got it, that's secure, which that's unfortunately not the case.
Yeah, I think and that's the thing too, is like I try to ask people what they've heard of in a sense of like what cryptos do you know, where I go in to talk to them how detail I can get with them about like what they're doing. You know, if someone only says, "Oh, I've heard of Bitcoin." Okay. Well, I know you don't have a lot of exposure to any of the altcoins, so I might as well not even mention how any of them, kind of
Yep,
function because they're going to get lost in the sauce and
exactly.
it's not even worth the conversation to go over their head with, you know?
Mhm. I uh, I agree. You got to really gauge who you're talking to, and you can quickly tell how much someone knows about crypto once you know what we've learned. You start to realize, oh, they literally don't even know what a DApp is. They don't
No.
know what decentralized finance even. They didn't even know that was a word or a thing. You know, they're just
Yeah,
they're buying coins on Coinbase, and they're crypto investors, which they're crypto investors until they're not because they don't hold the keys. You know,
right.
I mean, you're only a crypto investor as long as your overlord will give you your crypto.
For sure. Oh,
So
my
it's
battery went out 1 second.
you're good, man. It's a long stream. We've been on 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Hey, that's
Easy,
good.
easy, of nonstop, just getting it, baby, catching up, shooting some truth out, letting
So, so
letting
you
it.
got any new mattress products you've been putting out?
Yeah, yeah, we do actually. We're finally out of all that crap we were dealing with during COVID,
Right. Yeah.
and now they make like the product's nice. It's new. The cold fabrics. We got cold mattresses that are really nice from Mark. over there at Johnson City.
Yes.
And been killing it with those. And then I got a new one called Paramount, which is out of Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah, their Chad was dealing with them, wasn't he?
Yeah, and so I finally checked them out, and they just make just a mattress that probably will never break down. You know, just top of the line as far as durability. And I've been slinging those, man. I never had anyone upset with a single purchase on any of this new stuff.
Nice.
Yep, doing well with it.
That is real good to hear.
Yeah, I was doing some math just because, like, you know, you're talking about grinding since PulseChain, since we've got in here,
Mm-hmm.
just stacking crypto, man. Like, I think I've sold since PulseChain announcement. I've sold over $1 million worth of mattresses.
Dude, that is what's up,
That's
man.
insane to think about. You sold more. You sold $1 million while you were here.
I did. I know, and I was like, man, that's something like, and I didn't have any of the background either, you know.
Oh, it's sales is something that, you know, when you put your mind to it and you take it serious, anyone can do it. You got to be. It's a people. It's a people thing. You know. You know.
Oh yeah.
All about just being personal.
People buy you, you know.
Yo.
People don't like. People do buy the product, right? But they buy you, like.
Yeah. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, they are gonna buy you.
So it's like, and especially there, you have a product where it's like, hey, it's the only product out there that I have, right?
Exactly.
And it's like now it's more about, okay, who are these guys different from anyone else? You know, and then it becomes about the story, you know.
Yep. The story, the personal touch, the service, all of that is what makes you successful in the mattress business. Really, in the mattress business, you are almost a service in the service industry.
I had to switch up cameras. My other one's
Oh,
dead.
you're good.
Yeah, so you do, man. And the service industry is like, it's all about the person, you know, the person you're serving. Because, like, I found one of Richard's videos and it really resonated with me. It's like, if you're going to go out and do something, you want to become the best at what you do, right? So, in order for me to be successful when I was flipping springs, is I needed to go out there and see what other people were buying and the reason why my product would do better than the other stuff that people are buying.
Yeah.
You know, and then showing my passion of what I do, of like, you know, showing people like the just the having the bedside manner of, talking with them.
Absolutely.
And then it becomes more about dealing with you than it is whatever you got on the floor.
Yeah, they start to realize they can buy a mattress other places, but this place is personal. I can tell they care about what I'm trying to achieve, and they're going to provide good service. So I'm going to buy from this person.
And what I liked about it too is it's you feel that home vibe where you can always buy something online, right? But if I wanted to buy something in person, I wanted someone who knew everything to know about something, that would be the place where you would want to go.
Yep.
You know, to have the best customer experience. And that's why a business like yourselves for over 30 years have been doing the same exact thing. You know?
And it works.
It works.
It works. It's a simple formula, but it works. It's a good thing for sure. It's allotted us to really have a lot of life experiences, but for me and you, I mean, I know you ain't worked there in the last year. But
your brother's trying to get me to open one here, and I'm like, look, I don't want to have 10 years of having to commit my time to something. Like,
you are definitely you are definitely nearly a slave to your store when it's a new business.
for sure, any business, dude, because
Yeah,
you're gonna want to be there. So you don't want to have to hire someone to run it because you're gonna need to run it yourself. So it's like,
and
it's tough.
and honestly, like one of the statements I opened my eyes to. Don't get me wrong, I would want to start a business and at some point in my life, but one of the things that opened my eyes to that's not what you need to do right now is whenever Richard said that basically you can get a lot of other things wrong, but as long as you get crypto right, you'll be okay.
Yeah,
I
that
realized,
resonated.
yeah, it resonated, and it was also like, when you compare the risk of a business and ultimately, like, even if you are successful, you still may not yield a huge life changing amount of money, but also you're going to end up working, being like basically a slave to your business and trying to create one. So it shifted my focus from trying to be a business owner to a crypto investor, like from that point on. Whereas I
Yeah.
always thought I would, to be successful financially, I would have to start a business. Which is
Now each one of my little stakes are businesses, dude.
exactly. It's like now
You
I
know
got
how many money printers we got going on?
so many, dude. Got a bunch of little part-time jobs, maybe full-time jobs actually.
Well, every time they another decimal moves over in the hex price, that will be a doop.
Dude, every penny I get excited, it goes up because of my bag.
I know, me too, man.
I'm like, yes, finally I've positioned myself in this
Yeah,
ecosystem to like
to
really.
get the real effects of it. I totally feel you, man. I'm right there with you. And
It took hustle.
it
We're here.
but it took us, and I'm still here. Like I still consider myself a pleb because
Same.
all these people had got in millions with the ETH at AA, like crazy. And
Mm,
so like I'm not that fortunate. I've had to grind and buy all my bags.
yep. And we still will. Like, I mean, literally every payday moving forward from this stream on, I will still be grinding into the crypto ecosystem. Like it
Yeah.
won't. It's not going to stop just because even if PulseChain makes me tons of money,
Right.
it's not going to stop. So
I know, man.
we're going to win it, baby. Win it to win it. But yeah. It's been a good conversation.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll have to do another one when we launch, and we'll have to do like some mimosas or some cheersing.
Oh yeah, when we launch, just because we won't. I mean, I'm not looking to try to do anything crazy. I will build my ladders out, but I mean, other than that, I will just be chilling so we can hop on live and just literally like have a live launch party, even if no one watches. It's just me and
Yeah, that's totally fine.
you. Yep. So
Well,
I don't
it's been
expect
a,
it.
it's been a pleasure, my friend.
It has. Before we get off here, one more question. This is you got to end every chat with a good question.
What's that?
Does yes or no? Does Hex do another 10,000x?
From the bottom as
Right.
0.018, yes.
From the bottom of the bear.
Bottom of the bear.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Doesn't matter how long it takes. He says yes.
Yep. That's a good NFA. No financial advice.
Not financial advice. Everything said here on this stream was not financial advice. It was.
We are just here, two people, for the sole purposes of entertainment.
Yep. Life reflections.
Don't you go out there getting yourself wrecked now.
Yeah. Yep.
Until next time, man. Shout out to your handle on Twitter.
All right. Yep. You can go find me on Twitter at Diamond Pauls. Yep. Diamond Pauls, as you see it right here. And you got HP Morgan here.
You can find me at Jermaine Hexagon.
Jermaine Hexagon, folks. That's how I know him. Jermaine Hexagon.
Till next time, my peeps. I appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Peace out. See you, man.
See you, buddy.